Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, once again, welcome to Industrial Talk, and thank you very much for your support. This is where we celebrate industry heroes all around the world because you're bold, you are brave, you dare greatly. You're making my life a better life, and you're making the world a better place. That's why this platform is all about your celebration. And we are, as you can tell, there's a lot of buzzy buzz going in the background. That means we are on site at the FABTECH. Well, it's FABTECH. It's not a conference. What is it? FABTECH. It's an exhibit. That's it. It's a FABTECH exhibit. Atlanta, Georgia is the location, and we are having a dandy time. In the hot seat, Matteo Dariol, and he's with Rexroth, a Bosch Company. Let's get cracking. Resistance welding is on the docket. You're saying to yourself, Scott, I don't know anything about resistance welding. Yeah, you do. It's exciting stuff. How you doing, Matteo?
Good. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing well. Appreciate it. We had, if you haven't noticed, if you go out to the YouTube channel, Industrial Talk, you'll find there was a speed dating with Matteo and team Rexroth on whatever their technology is. It's got some detail associated with it. So we're all into it, man. So I'm sorry, I'm adjusting as we go along because apparently I think I'm hot. I'm looking at all the little indicators. So anyway, having a good conference?
Yes, very good indeed. That's the first time for me here in Atlanta, and I'm enjoying it.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
Yeah, you're in C.
I'm a Chicago boy, so yes, I live in Chicago.
Yeah.
And we are located in C.
Yeah, you're in C.
Yes.
And there's a lot of big stuff going over there.
That is true. There's robotics, welding.
So before we get into the tech, give the listeners a little background on who Matteo is. How come you're such a great professional? Where'd you come from?
Oh, thank you very much. So Matteo is a person who likes manufacturing, but most importantly likes data and software. So I'm trying to bridge this gap that there is between the OT side of things and the IT side of things. And that's been my mission for the last, I would say, 7 years now.
I got to tell you, from my perspective, if you're a manufacturer and you're not in the data game, you're missing out on opportunities. And you just are.
I couldn't agree more, right? We see every show there's more and more software, more and more as a service product, companies that are selling software instead of hardware, and we're seeing this trend everywhere probably in this moment. So it's an exciting time.
What I always am fascinated, if I was a manufacturer, I wouldn't even know where to start. Like I'm a manufacturer, and I know I need to go down this road, and I need to start collecting more insights into data and all that stuff. I don't even know, one, where to go. Two, who to trust. There's a lot of people hanging their shingles out here saying, yeah, we do it. So
you're not the only one with this fear. I mean, this is a serious problem, right? Everybody has it. They come to large companies like Bosch, like ours, and other companies to try to fill these gaps in terms of knowledge and skills. But there's still a long road ahead of everything.
Do you think it's approachable? Do you think it's really for also big companies? Bosch, thumbs up, got it, you're going to be fine. But from the small to mid-sized companies, is it still... is it approachable from, you too can play in the digital game?
What's the biggest problem for me is understanding the ROIs, understanding where you are in your roadmap, where is your strategy, what do you want to be in your company in the next 5 years. And I see a lot of different companies, small, medium companies, trying to getting to that stage where that's where I want to be in 5 years. That's where I need to invest. We are collecting data. A lot of companies are putting all of the sensors on top of machines. sensors, but then what do we do with those sensors, right? That's the biggest problem. There is not a lot of value that the raw data can draw into the business side. So you need to be able to analyze the data, make sense of it, and have a clear strategy, clear path in front of it, because it's so easy to get lost in nooks and crannies and cybersecurity and many different things.
See, I'm always fascinated by the fact that you're absolutely right. Here's data. Apparently, I can get a tsunami of data. It's the ability to be able to say, oh, that's good data, that's noisy data, that data, don't even look at it, don't waste your time with it. And that's always been a challenge, because you want to collect it, you want to look at the right data, and that requires some skills. I mean, don't ask me.
No, it does absolutely. And data in its raw form, it's just another voice into your expenses, right? It's just holding there, staying there somewhere in a database and doing nothing. Actually, data expires, believe it or not. So if you don't use it fresh, eventually it will not mean anything to you, right?
Yeah.
So you need to be able to use it immediately, as soon as possible, and draw intelligence. I don't know if you have seen ever those pyramids of that go from raw data into intelligence, into wisdom at the very top.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
perfect. You know this very well. So that's what you need to do. First off, you connect your machines. You make them smarter. Start collecting data. Then you need to shift your mindset and understand how can I drive my business using the insights from that raw data. And then eventually you come into prescriptive information, and then you achieve wisdom. I don't think any company is
I look at it this way. There's just been a lot of change. There's a lot of velocity that exists out there, just in innovation. Just people thinking, hey, here's a new use case. This is another one. Hey, and it's just, from my perspective, a challenge to keep up with, right? Now, with that said, which is really interesting, so we're buzzing around this conference, FABTECH, and what was interesting about this is that we went on over to, of course, C, that showcase, and then we ran into Bosch, and we were talking about resistance welding, and which is interesting. Just think of a car, and it's going through a thing, and it's zip, 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 and you see the spark, and they're welding, resistance welding. That's the picture. But the reality is that what you bring to the table is that data analytics into that spot weld. That I was dazzled by it. Take the listener through something like there's data in that little weld.
Well, first off, let me step back a little bit. You said zap, 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 spark comes out. That's a bad weld.
See, but I'm telling you right now, on TV.
And that's what it is. That's Hollywood. That's TV.
That's
right?
it.
Because they have to be flashy and they have to show you that something is doing something with welding, right? But that flash that you see, it's molten material being ejected from the location of the welding, right? And so that is called expulsion, technically. So what we can do now with all of the data, because we have been making machines that do the weld, we're talking about 20,000 ampere, so very high current, very fast machines that do all this stuff of resistant welding, producing a lot of data, and now we are stepping into a new domain where we say, okay, what do we do with this data? What are the fundamental problem of the resistant welding industry, right? The fundamental problem is understanding what is the quality of my weld. So how is it done right now? Is it done through destructive testing or using non-destructive technologies, for example, ultrasonic technologies, right? So if you have to do this using destructive testing, you have to peel off your parts and then you destroy the part and you can measure the quality of the weld. But you're not being proactive, right? You're not being adapting to whatever configuration might happen in your system. So you might have a bad batch of weld guns, right? Or tips or whatever. You're doing wrong your tip testing. And so the only way that you can do this, you can discover these problems, is through data, right? And so we are helping our customers really digging further and exploring the potential of this data-driven business. That's what we call it, right? So collecting the data coming from the machine, helping them, transforming the raw data into actionable information, and then deriving this quality metrics, for example, that are going to be very, very helpful for any application.
So, I get it. you're honing in on that weld. You're getting data out of that weld. You are improving the quality of that weld, and you're seeing it. Where do you see it going? Isn't there a point where I got it, I see. Is there even more room to improve that weld?
So you're asking me to look into the future of
Yes,
this type of technology in the next 5 to 10 years? Yes, I believe there's always going to be room for improvements at some degree, at some level. So if I have to do some wild guesses, for example, integrating robot data, PLC data from the cell into the welding controller, or maybe sharing all of these data available in one station throughout the entire controller setup, right? So you have your PLC, robot controller, welding controller, all of them sharing the same type of data, and then we'll have a big impact on the quality. There can be also post-processing technologies, for example, visual technologies that will examine the location of the spot that was welded and determine the quality using a non-intrusive technology. So that can also happen, right? But what we are right now is we are slowly introducing in the world of welding, or in the OT world, we are introducing a lot of IT technologies, and for example, we're introducing cloud computing, we're introducing artificial intelligence. So many different things right now can make a big impact on the current setup.
And what I like about it is the fact that you're going to catch defects before they become really bad. You're going to say, hey, here's a defect. We're able to use the available innovation, the available technology to be able to do that, and then significantly improve the quality of whatever it is.
And that's where we want to be. That's what we want to deliver. I still remember the first time that I went on site visiting a very large customer of ours, and I saw a couple of welding engineers walking station to station with a piece of paper in their hands, writing down the quality information of those welds that they want to measure. And I felt, man, this is really like 1960s almost, right? Technology. We can certainly do something better than this right now, and we can. So the solution that we are delivering now to our customers aim in that direction, being more proactive, and being more agile when it comes to intervene and set up the right parameters for a proper configuration of whatever quality you want to achieve. So
it sounds great. I mean, we can try to blow holes into the solution, but it sounds like a good solution. What would be the pushback of companies? Like, what is it? Because I was going, wow.
No, there's a big pushback, and that's the big old pushback that all the major OEMs, manufacturers put in. That's the number one question that we got every time we present a solution to somebody. What about my data? What do you do with the data? So this is the issue, right? Companies need to do more with their data, but they are scared of using the data and having their data somewhere that is not on premise, that is not in their own place. So the question that we get always, the very first one is, how do you use our data? What do you do with the data? We use a public platform on the cloud to store the data. We operate it, we maintain it, we abide to very strict cybersecurity regulations that Bosch impose and everything. But that's not enough in some cases. So they still want to wait. The good news is this is a trend, a macro trend in the industry, and eventually small, medium, tier 1, tier 2 are going to change their mindset into actually moving in the cloud direction and allowing other companies to make business.
Could you sort of, and this might be a pushback too, a sort of a co-cross whatever, it's like, hey, here's a company down in North Carolina, and then here's a company up in Boise, Idaho, and the environment is different, whatever it might be, but you're able to take through that a better position or view of where you're going with that.
Right. So without getting into too many IT technical...
Don't.
there can be a hybrid cloud setup. Hybrid cloud in the sense of the manufacturer holds the data in their own cloud, in their own infrastructure, and then we access on demand just to provide the right. For example, we were discussing about nugget size prediction.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, which is pretty cool, by the way.
Nugget size prediction, we need the data from the customer to produce this, right? So they can just give us what we need to calculate the nugget size prediction, and then no more, right? So it's something that can happen from cloud to cloud. There can be something that we can do in the future, but again, my hope and I guess I'm an optimist in that sense. Many tier 1 suppliers and many OEMs have changed their minds and accept more and more the fact that their clouds are going to be, their data are going to be on the cloud. There's nothing we can do about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can try to resist that, but come talk to me in 5 years, and it's going to be even more. And there are plenty of companies out there that are committed to protection of the data, and you know, it just, whether you like it or not, it's
also
figure it out.
I'll give you another pointer. Cars are becoming computers on wheels, right? And manufacturers are not IT companies, so they need to rely on somebody that is an expert in IT and cybersecurity. And therefore, the more cars we can have on the road producing data, the more need they will have to host them somewhere, right? To store them somewhere and analyze them, and secure and everything. So there would be more and more interaction.
Yeah, it's going to happen, whether you like it or not. And my recommendation has always been, hey, you got to move forward. It is happening. You've got to find companies like Bosch and others to help you on this journey, because if you're not mining the data in a way that is tactical in your business, you're missing out. You're missing out on gold.
Absolutely.
You know. So anyway, all right. How do people get a hold of you there, Matteo?
Yeah, they can come visit us in section C, where we are the number of our stand.
Yeah.
Or they can just go on our website and look up for what we can do.
Well, I'm going to have all your contact information out on Industrial Talk, so fear not. You can reach Matteo. You guys got your fingers on the pulse of all of this. This is great stuff. I like it. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Man, I got to tell you, I enjoyed every bit of the conversation just because it's intriguing. All right, once again, we're broadcasting from FABTECH, Atlanta, Georgia. It's got a lot of people, huh, Matteo?
There's a lot of people.
There's a ton of people. It's exciting. It's got a lot of energy. All right. It does, man. All right, we're going to wrap it up on the other side, and I'm going to have all the contact information for Matteo, so do not go away. Fear not. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right, once again, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk. That was Matteo. That was at FABTECH. That was last year. And I've been looking out at his stat card and what he has today. He was with Rexroth, which is a Bosch company, and he moved within Bosch to an organization called Growth Platform. And what's interesting about this, and this is where everybody's going, whether we like it or not, whether you embrace it or not, and we've got to figure out that solution. This is, it looks like an IAPM, don't know what that stands for, but it does include digital twin as well as artificial intelligence. And if I had a nickel every time with somebody talking about digital twin or artificial intelligence and applying that to manufacturing and all aspects of the manufacturing world, yeah, I'd be rich, because it has to happen. You need to be engaged, and Industrial Talk is here to help deliver the education and help deliver the collaboration opportunities, because they're all out there. Just FYI, you need to get engaged. And again, FABTECH this year, FABTECH Chicago, and it's going to be bigger and better, and everybody's there to solve problems, which is always just a fantastic opportunity. All right, this ecosystem, this Industrial Talk ecosystem needs you. And it needs you to just be engaged, because we're trying to educate, collaborate, and of course, innovate. Go out to Industrial Talk. All of Matteo's contact information, as well as all of the other professionals that have been on this platform, all out there, and they want to connect. Be bold, be brave, dare greatly. hang out with Matteo, and you will change the world. We're going to have another wonderful conversation as we work through the content from FABTECH shortly, so stay tuned.